Hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Deanna, and this is my spiritual YouTube channel, The Faith That Grows. And today I wanted to give a detailed synopsis of my personal, genuine experience with the mind alignment process, or MAP for short. The mind alignment process is a trauma healing program that is kind of an offshoot or brainchild of like the Church of Union and Twin Flames universe. It was founded by Dr. Christine Kay and Jeff and Shalia. And I have had, I'll link I'll put a link to the website below. So the reason I'm making this video, a few reasons. Last night I was talking to an old coworker of mine. We went and grabbed drinks. We were chatting about anything and everything under the sun you can possibly think of. It was a great time. One of the things that came up was the topic of trauma healing. And she had mentioned that her therapist wanted to do something called, oh, I forgot. Damn it. It's like ED. Is it MP? Is that what it is? No. One second. Oh, is this it? EDMR. Therapy for trauma. And on Google it says EMDR therapy is a structured psychotherapy used to help individuals heal from trauma and other distressing experiences. And this made me think of MAP, because I've done MAP twice, not 4 times, twice. And so first I was like, what is it? EDMR. I was like, what is that? She said, well, basically you go through traumatic memories and they help you kind of relive it with your therapist or whoever's doing this with you, and they help you process it and re-experience it in a way where it's not so traumatic and negative. And I went, oh, that reminds me of MAP. And I told this person, I told my friend about MAP. And what it made me realize is that my experience with MAP is so important to me. And my experience with Twin Flames Universe in general is such an important part of my experience of my entire life. And I have been not talking about it in the way and in the scope with which I desire to speak about it, because I've been afraid and I've been feeling shut down, and I haven't wanted to come across like a hater or someone who like has some sort of problem or like negative chip on their shoulder or something. And I've been trying to be very careful about what I say and how I say it. I did go through a period of unmasking my autism this last year, and I wasn't careful anymore about what I was saying and how I was saying it. But in general, I've been trying to be very careful. And here's why. It's because I had one absolutely phenomenal MAP session, and then I had another I don't know what to make of it MAP session. And this is why I want to be careful, because I don't want to scare people away from a good thing. And when I was talking to my friend yesterday about my experience with MAP, I was honest. I was blunt. I was like, I had a literally perfect experience with my first map session. And then the second time I went through map, I don't even know what to really make of it. It's hard for me to put words, so I'm just going to share my experience because I think it's like my story matters. It does. And full disclosure, I am currently banned from the Church of Union, from Twin Flames Universe. That is the community that contains MAP as part of it. And I was banned in October 2020 while I was in the middle of an after MAP care program for my second ever MAP session. So yeah, so I'm sure as time goes on, God will show me deeper understanding of the situation. I just need to record this here and now because I feel genuinely inspired to. Extremely difficult to navigate reality when you feel like you can't talk about the things that are most important to you. That's extremely difficult. And I think it's a huge piece of why I feel so stuck and so lost in my life right now, is because I want to talk about my experience with the mind alignment process, my experience with Twin Flames Universe. I haven't felt like I should. I guess I haven't felt ready, but also I've wanted to. And I don't want to be black and white because my experience was in the gray area, but it still matters. Like, my experience does matter. So I want to start by saying, so I was the CEO of Twin Flames Universe. It's hard for me to talk about just MAP without talking about, because it's all interconnected. MAP, TFU, Divine Dish, Divine Gaming, whatever else there is. If I'm blanking on something I don't know, Church of Union, it's all like interconnected. So it's hard for me to talk about one thing without talking about another part of it. So I was the CEO of Twin Flames Universe for a few months in 2019. And then I was asked to step down. And I was feeling like it was time for me to step down. I was feeling very overwhelmed by my responsibilities. All of a sudden, I was feeling undersupported. I was feeling something was off. And lo and behold, I actually will share this. When Jeff and Shalia met with me in a one-on-one meeting to discuss my role as the CEO of Twin Flames Universe, they pulled a card for me. And it was from the Life Purpose deck by Doreen Virtue. And it was the environmentalist card with like an earth angel with a very open heart chakra. And they mentioned my relationship. They mentioned that this had to do with my biological brother, who it's so interesting that I'm filming this video today, June 11th, because this was my biological brother's birthday. He committed suicide when he had just turned 24, and I was 16. And this has dramatically impacted my experience of reality. There was a huge, major trauma. They mentioned when they pulled that card that this had something to do with my relationship in my heart that I was having with my biological brother still, even though he had since long been gone. I don't remember what the rest of that conversation was like. Basically, it was just agreed upon that it was time for me to step down as CEO. And what happened very shortly after I stepped down from being CEO is I did my first map session. So looking back, that's what was under the surface. That's why things were starting to feel heavy for me. It's why I was not able to really, I was kind of hitting a wall. And so right after I stepped down as CEO of Twin Flames Universe, I entered into MAP for the first time. It was one of those experiences I remember feeling like, oh, I shouldn't need something like this. My trauma isn't that bad. I'm sure I'm functioning fine. I'm sure everything's okay. Like I felt like this weird feeling of like I don't need help with this. I don't know if I should bother with this. Like, but then when I booked my map session, I could feel that this is what God had intended for me at the time was I needed to heal my trauma. That was first and foremost the most important thing. And so even though being CEO of Twin Flames Universe was like the pinnacle of my life purpose journey at the time, and I loved it with all of myself, and I didn't want to step down at the same time, like I needed, like the trauma healing needed to happen, like right then. And so I booked my first map session, and my map practitioner was Angie Moggy, and she did a stunning, perfect job. Held beautiful space. Um, I couldn't have asked for a better map session. And you give flashbacks, and then the map practitioner in the session walks through your flashbacks with you and works their magic. I And then there's an aftermap care program. And I went through all of that as well. And like I've said, like my experience with my first map session was heavenly. It was godly. It was perfect. And then like as I was healing through the aftermap care program, like my soul sister Michaela moved in with me. We repainted my brother's old room and like scrubbed all of the ick and the grime out of there. Like my mom and I finally got rid of my brother's ashes, and we cleansed and cleaned the house a lot in preparation for Michaela moving in. Like it was miraculous. There wasn't just an internal experience of healing the trauma, it was very external too, wherein like I was prompted to make physical changes, like repainting my brother's old room, like scrubbing it down, like getting rid of his ashes finally. I was prompted naturally to do things externally too. And so another component of this is that every year, when it comes to be around this time, like when it comes up around the anniversary of my brother's birthday, which is June 11th today, and the anniversary of his death was June 13th, I start feeling extremely suicidal myself. And there's varying degrees of this. I start just feeling this upheaval, this this just this feeling of like, oh, we're coming around to that time again. And there's this feeling of like like trauma upheaval, but every year that goes by. Oh, and I didn't mention the first map session I did was in regard to my brother's suicide. Those were the flashbacks I gave. And um what I will say is that ever since having done the map session, I feel like there's a pillow energetically between myself and the trauma. It doesn't feel as sharp and harmful and personal. It feels like there's a healing balm, a healing cushion between myself and what I experienced years ago. But I still move through. Like, MAP doesn't erase a memory. It's not like erasing. It's not like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind type stuff. It just heals it, and it's less charged, and it's yeah. It is very divine. My first experience with the map session. And I wish that I could still be a part of the map forum and share my insights as I have them, but I'm banned, so that's not possible. One thing that has really changed is my relationship with video games. I can't game like I once used to. But video games were something that my brother and I shared. It was a shared hobby. He got me into them, and I have so many memories of us playing together. And he's the reason that I played video games for hours on end and actually was like a gamer. But then when he died, I stopped playing. But since my map session, slowly but surely, I've been able to re-engage in my relationship with video games very, very, very slowly but surely. Like, very light-hearted things like Mario and stuff like that. One day, I'm sure that I will get back into gaming and be like I used to be with gaming. But there's just so much there that I'm still working through. And this is another thing is I feel like if I had access to the Map Open Forum again and I could share my healing as it comes up with other people who have gone through the program, I feel like my healing would be expedited and it wouldn't be quite as slowed down as it is right now. Like, I feel like I'm creepy crawling in my trauma healing. Like Dan bought me Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory and a Barbie game, and I have not been able to touch them except for like maybe once or twice, just little dabbles, because there's too much pain there still. But it's not because my map session didn't work. It worked. But it's just that there's always it is a process. Trauma healing is a process. That's why it's called the mind alignment process. It's not just you go in for your session and then goodbye. Everything's completely done and healed and you never have to talk about it again. Just move on with your life. No, that's not how healing works. So my first map session was in September of 2019. And so it's been 5 years almost. It's coming up on 5 years. And based on that experience, I would recommend MAP to anyone and everyone. It's a miracle. It's a miracle company. It's a miracle working company. Then there's my second MAP session. And I don't honestly even know what to make of it. Like I said, I'm sure God will show me and give me understanding over a longer period of time in my life. But as of right now, it's really difficult to understand exactly what happened, like the real truth of what happened. But I think that sharing about it and talking about it is a good step in the pursuit of clarity. Because if I just keep it all bottled up indefinitely, I'm getting stuck. I'm experiencing energetic bottleneck. I don't know like where to go or what to do. So my second MAP session, I was in a program called Spiritual Boot Camp at the time. So I was living with Jeff and Shalia, and I knew the same kind of thing was happening where I was hitting a wall. And I knew, I was like, oh, because of my experience undergoing the first MAP session, I'm like, oh, this is familiar to me. This means I need MAP. It's MAP time. Not nap time, MAP time. And it was about it was like almost exactly a year later. I can look this up. I really, really can. Let me see here. Okay. Oof. And just even looking at the old emails about this MAP session gives me like, I don't feel good in the pit of my stomach. Something is not right about what happened in my second MAP session, my second MAP program. There's just something off. So, I had my second MAP session on August 27th, 2020. So it was almost exactly a year after my first one. And that MAP practitioner was Carmel Murphy Pollard. And one of the things this time, I did it for my my flashbacks with my extremely abusive biological father. And so that's what I went in to heal. And one of the things I remember happening is that when I was disclosing one of the sensitive memories to Carmel, she laughed. And I don't even care. I mean, I care. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I am not, like, trying to make Carmel out to be a bad person or a bad MAP practitioner. I laugh at inappropriate things all the freaking time, especially if something's too serious. I'll just bust out into laughter. You know what? Like, sometimes, like, you're balancing the energy because something is so serious and you're relieving tension, almost like energy healing. So it could have been something like that. But what happened for me when she laughed is I started feeling shame about that memory. It was an extremely, extremely sensitive memory that was already full of shame. I started feeling shame. I felt shut down. I wanted to say something like that was inappropriate, but I didn't. I never really reported what happened until over the past couple years. I've sent some emails to MAP about what happened. I don't know if it affected the healing. I think it did, though, because I just remember feeling like not safe and like um it just wasn't the same as my first MAP session. It wasn't the same. And then in the after MAP care program, I actually got kicked out of it. So I was removed in the middle of my after MAP care program at the same time as I was banned from the entire Twin Flames Universe Church of Union community. So something's not right with that. Did I still receive the healing that God intended? I think so. But what the problem is that being excommunicated from a community that I loved dearly and that like I didn't want to leave and that like I had built so many loving relationships with for years, like losing all that and being kicked out of my after MAP care program was really brutal and traumatizing. And so I have talked to therapists about this, and they said the same thing that I feel, which is that actually created deeper trauma and pushed me deeper into my trauma. And the thing is I don't know what to do with that. What I was told by Dr. Chrissy Kay is that I had made a choice to stop healing. And that doesn't resonate with me at all because I love healing. It's a passion of mine. I love healing. It's all I want to do. It's all I do, pretty much. And it doesn't resonate with me that I chose to stop healing. I take issue with the fact that no one like got on a video call with me and said, like, just so you know, this is what we see going on. What is your experience? No one like worked with me or like tried to really help course correct. If I was genuinely choosing to stop healing, I wouldn't want to just be removed. I would want to know and be given very clear steps and like direction so that didn't happen. Because now I feel like I need MAP for being excommunicated from the church because that was a seriously traumatizing event. So I don't think like the healing that I claimed with God through booking the MAP session, I believe I still received on some level. But once again, my integration of the healing, I think there's a superior way to go about it. It's having that support remain with you the entire time and not just losing it. I don't know if this has happened to anyone else who's ever booked a MAP session. I don't know if this has happened to any other person where they were just literally removed. and kicked out of their aftermath care program. I hope not, but at the same time, why would it just be me? You know? It just doesn't make sense. Like, trauma healing is such a sensitive thing. I feel like it should be taken extremely seriously. Um, and I truly just don't know what to make of the second map session. And so this is my authentic experience. I've made the most of it that I can. Like, one of the flashbacks that I brought up in my second map session involved a theme park, like a fair, like being on a ride at a fair. And God's very compassionately guided me to try going to fairs again and getting in the rides that I can handle. And I always choose to claim my healing no matter what happens to me. But it was quite overwhelming. Yeah, I just yeah, it's hard for me to put words to it anymore. I'm getting to the part where like I don't have any more clarity on the matter. And so I'm just going to share this as is. Um and pray to God for more clarity and understanding to come. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I want to say, like, if you're interested in healing your trauma, try MAP. But I hope to God that you wouldn't be kicked out of your aftermath care program. So, I don't know. Follow your internal guidance system. That's what I would say. Another thing that just kind of came to mind here is that I don't feel like I was given a genuine chance to speak to my experience of what was going on, stand up for myself, claim deeper healing. I never got to air my grievance about my MAP practitioner laughing at one of my memories. Like, it just felt like they came down on me and just made me the problem and booted me out. And I just don't think that's very spiritual. I don't think that facilitates true healing. And so I hope things have changed. But I also feel like I deserve some sort of apology or a chance to talk about these kinds of things with the company. I don't know. I don't fully understand what happened. And without fully understanding what happened, I can't really heal. And healing is actually my intention at the end of the day. It always has been and it always will be. It's a passion of mine. So for someone to tell me that I'm not choosing to heal anymore, it doesn't resonate. It really doesn't.